in the legislature, but we also talked, I remember we actually met in the cafeteria back then. We talked about the great things we were going to do once, what's his name again? Oh yeah, Romney. How easy we forget sometimes of what was going to happen. So we find ourselves at I guess a crossroads of where we have to dig in, because no one ever said it was going to be easy, and it's not, and it's never been. If you're going to fight for your beliefs and your principles, it never is easy. Now, before I tell you a little bit about what happened in the legislature this year and what is going to happen, or at least the outlook for next year, I did find myself out in open water, dangling 10 feet by a rope ladder. How did I get there? Well, let me tell you, it was coming up on a weekend, and I got a call from the harbor pilot in Fernandina. Asked me if I wanted to escort a huge cargo ship through the channel to port. I said, sure. Kids had gone that morning in different directions. My wife says, I'm going to go shopping. You got the morning, you might as well go. It was overcast that morning, and I said yes without checking the weathercast because there were 8-foot seas. Seas don't mean the surf on town. Seas mean when you get out sea how big those waves are. So we were headed out. I made him at the dock. We got on a little tiny boat, and then we started heading out. And it's already bumpy, and we're in there, and we talked for the first, you see, the ships can't come into port unless, if they're flying a foreign vessel, unless they have a harbor pilot that can steer them through the channel. So we're on the little ship, and we spent the first 20 minutes just talking about his profession and what he does and all kinds of things like that. And I finally said, well, I could see a little tiny shadow on the horizon. And of course, as we got closer and closer, it was a big job over almost just under a football field in size. I mean, it was a big ship. And as we got closer, finally he puts I got a vest on, and we're getting closer, and then it dawned on me, hey, how are we going to get on? We actually board the ship. And he goes, yes, we're going to board the ship, and don't worry, I've already figured that out. And so we get there. This ship is going 6 miles an hour up and down the coast. And so he goes, don't worry, we're going to come right alongside of it, and we'll board it. Okay, so we get there, and we are pulling up, and as we're pulling up, we're outside. There's a spray, because, you know, it's bumpy, and I'm hanging on. I got my vest on. And there's a spray, so we pull up next to it, and then about that time, as we pull up next to it, a 3-story rope ladder comes along the side, boom, right there. So we're pulling up, and our guy, there's a captain of this little tiny boat. We pull up right us on. The harbor pilot gets out and puts on these professional gloves. He goes, look, you got to wait till I get to the top. I'll yell okay, and then it'll be okay for you to come. I said, okay, I got that. I'm hanging on, and it's going, the spray is coming, and he says, now don't worry. You know, if you feel uncomfortable or it's not going to work out, there's a radio on this boat. You can hear everything I do, and you just won't get on it, but you'll go with us the whole way, because we're about 4 miles out now. You'll get to see everything. You'll get to see everything. You hear the radio. And so don't worry. If it doesn't work out, just stay on this boat, and then it'll be fine. I said, okay. So we're right there. Next thing I know, we're right along. We're moving. It didn't stop. We're moving. I don't need to get with Dave. You're good. You're good wherever you want to be. Wherever you want to be.
I want you to enjoy it.
Okay. Wherever you want to be, it's good. So the rope ladder comes. He gets out, and he puts on his professional gloves. And next thing you know, he's gone. He's gone, and I'm there, and the boat's like that. And he said, okay, come on. I said, okay. So I grabbed the bottom of the rope, and I pull myself to the very first rung. And I'm thinking, how am I going to do this? Am I really going to do this? Because now the spray is coming. And as I'm thinking, it had to be maybe 4 seconds to think, okay, just get it done. I look back, and that little boat that was behind me, I literally was just a foot off, now was about 200 yards headed back to shore. He didn't get the memo to stick around for being chickens out. He's gone. He was gone. So it's just me and that ladder, literally hanging on. The ship's moving, we're going, and there I holler. I'm there, and now he's giving me, I mean, imagine it's a telephone pole and a half on the side of these ships. I mean, it's a long way. And so I hesitated a little bit too long, because then I attracted part of the crew of the ship. Remember, they don't speak any English. And so they were chanting, they were Ukrainian, and they were all chanting. You know, and I don't know, I found out later they were betting whether or not I was going to make it. So finally, you know, they yell. The one guy says, you know, I'm going up halfway, and finally, there's, you know, I'm going halfway. I get up halfway, and the guy says, just don't look down. I say, okay, oh! There's no way to go. So finally, I make it to the top, and the whole crew cheers. Hey, you know, I'm high-fiving people. I don't even know, you know, we're communicating by high five, and then it was good. We went, not only we get on the ship, then we go up 6 floors. It's like a cruise ship type, but it's all cargo. It was all cargo, and of course, it was interesting maneuvers and different things. That was one of my first things in office as a senator. So. But I do want to thank you guys, because y'all did believe in me when I asked. I said, I need your support. Give me a shot, and you did. So I'm here to tell you what you got for your money, and here we go. Here we go, because I went to Tallahassee, and first of all, our very first session was this session. You know, I served 8 years in the Florida House, so that was part of my resume. To say, look, I've already done it. I've been in there. We can be effective for you. And so you bought, boom, went, give you the numbers first. Here are the numbers of your state legislature. I'm one of 40 state senators, teaming up with 120 state representatives. A senator is about 470,000 people that you put your arms around. A House member is a third of that, about 140,000. So we go to Tallahassee for 60 days a year. We meet up with a cabinet of 4. As you know, they're all Republican, 1 governor, 2,100 registered lobbyists. You think of the issue, you think of the group, there is somebody there that's going to represent their interest. You know, I remember when I was in the House, we talked about, I was on a criminal justice committee, and we were talking about the length of a knife and what the penalty should be, depending on the length of the knife, what a weapon is. And as a freshman, I didn't have much of a following. So criminal justice, we met in the basement of the House office building, and there were only 2 people in the audience that would come and watch us meet. And we were just about to vote on an amendment on the length of a knife. And one guy in the back stood up and said, I'd like to speak. My name is Tom Jones. I represent the Florida Cutlery Association. So even knives have their own lobbyists. So 6 days a year, but I was just telling Joe, it's not just 60 days a year, it's preparation before that. So a couple of months before, you're in committees to meet and consider legislation, amend it, make it better, kill it, move forward, so that when session comes, you've already teed up a lot of information. If you'd have told me I was going to be on 5 committees and chair healthcare, and that's what I was tapped to do, so I immediately went into leadership and became chairman of healthcare. Anything associated with healthcare, Senate Health, what's the official name of that? Health, what is it? Senate Health?
Senate Health Policy.
Health policy. So anything health policy related comes to our committee. If you'd have said, being you're going to be on 5 and chair a committee, I would have said, that's too many. That's just way too many, because really it takes a day to prepare for your committee. You're on other committees and you're reading bills as people present their bills before you. You're trying to get your bills through. So it's a lot. So 5 is too many. I'm on 9. So you can see it is a rocking time where we're reading, we're scrambling, we're doing our bills. The actual number of bills that was introduced in the legislature this year was, now we're only there for 60 days. How many could it be? How about just under 3,000? 3,000 bills. And a bill could be anywhere from a sentence to, I think the longest one I've seen was 1,800 pages. So there's a whole bunch. Now here's the power of being a chair. Because of those approximately 3,000 introduced, only 2,000 were actually heard, the power of the chair is to set the agenda. And this kills more bills than any other.